Hello everyone, this is JPenning101 and this is going to be my second video for our Let's Play of Dead Frontier. Bit of an apology ahead of time, I actually had to recreate a character using the same profession. As you can see, my name is JPenning101. Bit of a situation, lost some of my recordings, so I figured I'd just start fresh. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be starting out and looking at our inventory, our character a little bit, and taking a look at everything in Natasha's holdout. So we're going to head to our inventory. And as you can see here, this is our basic setup here. Now, every character, no matter what, starts out with some clothes, shirt and pants usually, and a couple of weapons. Now, these weapons are Beta Tomcat and a penknife for most basic classes. Beta Tomcat is standard pistol, uses 32 caliber ammunition, pretty weak, and it's just there used for practice mostly. Next item we get is also the penknife, which is for melee combat, and it's pretty bad for melee combat, I'm going to admit right off the bat, but we're not going to be using it that long. Mostly just, again, for practice and get ourselves up a couple of levels. We'll be picking up something later. In the inventory itself, you see a few things. Now, the inventory, it starts off kind of small, I know that, but it's going to go up with us as we level up as well. I think it's once every 10 levels. As you can see, we have some shots for our 32 caliber pistol, and some food which we use to keep ourselves in a good state. Nourishment does have a direct effect on experience gained. A few other things like our ability to repair armor, because if we do have one equipped, we can actually repair it ourselves as opposed to having someone else do it. Again, over there is our nourishment bar, which we're going to need that if we're going to be doing repairing of armor, because that is a way for me to get money in this case, and as well it affects our experience gained. Here we have our health reticle, so we don't have a health bar, it just tells us what we're at roughly. Okay, so we're going to take a look at a few things in the holdout. First place we're going to start is the bank. Now, not every holdout looks like this. Everyone has the same basic services, but it's just set up in a different way for aesthetic purposes. Now, in the bank, we have access to however much cash we've stashed in there. You start off with a little bit on you, but I've already put it in there for safekeeping, because if you have money on you when you go in the city and you die, good chance you're going to lose it. Going to head back. Next, we're going to head over to the storage. Storage, we start off with 5 spaces. We can put whatever we want in there, 1 item each, ammunition, medical supplies. We can open up all these other spaces here for in-game cash. Price goes up as we go. Alright, now we have the arena, which is just basic PvP. That's where you go mostly if you want to get top player killer of the week or something along those lines. I'd avoid it for now until we actually have a good build. Of course, access to the inner city. Go and kill zombies, loot stuff, all that fun stuff. We'll be doing it later. Here we have the records. Records is where you can actually find where people are sitting for this week's top survivor, which is how much experience gained, and top player killer. Again, not something we're going to get too into until we're at a higher level, and I'll probably be doing it on my main, and then you have access to the all-time people. Next is the gambling den. Avoid it whenever possible. It's a complete scam, unfortunately. I have yet to find a time where I've won cash to make it worthwhile. It's all random. Now this is the yard. This is actually really important. Again, we get access to our character and our inventory. There's a few big things here. First one is scrap. Now what happens here is, if you have an item you don't need, you just drag it over to the scrap. It'll tell you how much in-game cash you get for it, and you can scrap it out. It's good if there's something that's just not selling in the market. We're not going to do that right now. There's also enhance, which gives us bonuses to some of our stats on our weapons and armor. You see, it's in-game cash for enhance. And it's completely random. I should be bringing that out. Then we have apprentice dye, which is take clothing or armor. You can either randomly dye it for in-game cash, or you can choose what you want for credits. Now, we're going to get into that again later. This is just something that's a bit of a more basic tutorial. You can get a perfect enhancement on a weapon, again, for credits, or you can rename weapons and armor, again, for credits. That's basically it for the yard. Next up is the meeting hall, which is just a link into the forums of Dead Frontier. A lot of information, either through basic discussion, buying, selling threads. I'll leave it to you guys to actually go in there and see what information you can find. And again, if you have questions, send a line my way or post it in the questions and assistance. Now here we have the marketplace. This is probably the most important thing. We got 3 things here: buying, Selling. As you can see, we can actually sell our services to repair armor. And private, which is between us and specific players. Now, you can do a search for items if you want, but I normally don't do that. I just go into the sections we want, either everything, armor, weapons, either melee, pistols, rifles, shotguns, everything, bunch of things, ammunition, items like food, medical, just a bunch of everything. Any item in the game that can be traded or sold will be here, some way, shape, or form. You just do a search, you just go through the stuff you want, and I can actually see there's a gray exterminator mesh for like 79,000. That's actually a pretty good price. I may scoop that up on my mains at some point, if it's still there. But I digress. So, this is really a big list. Just go through and you can see the stats on mastercrafted items by putting your cursor over it. Again, leave it to you guys to get more used to it. I'm going to cut the video off here, and next thing we're going to look into is actually the stats of our character and maybe a little bit of combat. Alright, see you guys.